Ask and Embla were the first people made by the gods living in a place called Midgard. The gods kept them safe from harm and chaos. Thor, the giant fighter, kept evil away. With the gods' help, people grew strong and always thanked the gods. These folks knew cold winters and worked hard to stay warm. They knew the gods would someday fight big evils, and that good times might end. Ragnarok started in Midgard right when summer was finishing, and it was time to pick crops. But then, a chilly breeze came and messed up lots of the plants. Trees dropped their leaves way too soon, showing that a really hard and cold winter was coming. Everyone tried super hard to prepare, even though there wasn't much food. They knew they had to be ready for what was ahead, so they gathered what they could and hoped for the best. But the hardest winter, called Fimbulwinter, began. 3 years of non-stop cold were ahead. To stay warm and fed, folks stayed in their coats, even eating their pets when food ran low. The nights felt endless. Wild beasts hunted those outside. People fought each other for food. Families argued, and chaos was everywhere. The gods in Asgard saw signs of a huge battle between good and evil. This big fight was called Ragnarok, or the world's end. A super long and harsh winter caused chaos among people. Only a few survived when the signs of Ragnarok appeared. To catch the sun and moon, 2 wolves, kids of the big bad wolf Fenrir, chased them in the sky. Hati chased the moon, and Skoll went after the sun. The sun and moon gods, Mani and Sul, ran from these wolves for a long time. But they got caught. The wolves attacked and ate them, making everything dark. Giant shakes from the world tree and big earthquakes marked the world's end. Mountains broke and freed Fenrir, the giant wolf, who was angry and wanted payback. The sea went wild when Gormungandr, a big snake, moved around a lot. Huge waves destroyed the last cities by the sea. When the snake put poison in the water, all sea animals died. Loki, after being treated very badly, became as mad as his son Fenrir. All he wanted was to defeat the Asgard gods. He went to the dark place Helheim, where bad spirits stay. The queen of the dead, Hel, let her dad lead her dead army. This army was made of people who died without honor. These dead fighters wanted to be remembered forever. The dragon Didrugr, who nibbled on the tree holding the world, made a big way for the dead army to attack the living. Fire giants, with their leader Surtur, who had a fiery sword, came with big flames, showing the fire army was here. The giant ice warriors from Jotunheim climbed onto big ships made from nails and sailed to Vigridr, the place for the huge battle between the gods and chaos. Heimdall, who watched for the gods, knew that Ragnarok, the end times, had started. He blew the Gjallarhorn, and its sound went everywhere. Everyone was scared of this event. It was time for the final fight between the Aesir gods and chaos. The moment had come, signaled by Heimdall's horn. Loki and his chaos army wanted to stop the Aesir gods, and they were ready to do whatever it took. The Aesir gods had been preparing for this big fight for a long time. Valhalla's gates, which had been shut for ages, opened. Many warriors came out, ready to join Odin's huge army. These warriors were heroes who had died in battles before. After they died, the Valkyries brought them to Valhalla. Here they waited to join the gods in this last fight. Every god who could fight joined in. Some enemies tried to break the gates of Asgard, but the bridge they were on broke. The giants that fell into the river below didn't survive. Even with strong defenses made by the giant builder, the gods had to fight bravely on open ground. Odin, on his special 8-legged horse, told everyone to start fighting. The gods' army went to meet their enemies. The fighting was so intense that it made Yggdrasil, the world tree, shake. Thor, known for thunder, fought fiercely, taking down many giants. Herm led the ice giants in battle against Odin's group. Loki had an army of undead soldiers, those who had died without honor. Frey, a god from the Vanir group, fought hard with the Asgardians, riding a shiny boar. But the leader of the fire giants, Surtur, was too powerful. Using his fiery sword, he killed Frey. Before dying, Frey was sad because he missed his old magical sword, which Skirnir now had. He was the first god to die, but many others would follow. Tyr, a brave god who once gave his hand to trap a dangerous wolf, Fenrir, faced his end against Garm, a powerful wolf from Hel's realm. But just before dying, Tyr managed to hurt the wolf deeply with his sword. When the giant snake Jormungandr appeared on the battlefield, the earth trembled. It let out a deadly poisonous fog that hurt many of the gods' fighters. Thor, ready for the big fight with his longtime enemy, felt deep pain after meeting the snake. The clash between Thor and Jormungandr was unforgettable. Thor dodged the huge snake's attacks and fought back with strong hammer hits. When the beast tried to eat Thor, he struck it down. Even hurt, Thor managed to defeat the snake by hitting its head. Everyone in Asgard cheered for Thor's win, but the poison fog, released when Thor defeated Jormungandr, caused harm. Thor fell, poisoned, making the gods fight even tougher without their main hero. Fenrir, the massive wolf and son of Loki, defeated many but was still after Odin, the king of the gods. Odin bravely faced the scary wolf. Odin's birds, Hugin and Munin, helped in the fight, but it wasn't enough. Fenrir, with his huge mouth, overpowered Odin. After beating Odin, the giant wolf mocked the gods. This made the fighters mad. Vidar, Odin's son, attacked Fenrir with all his strength. Vidar stepped on the wolf's tongue and pulled his jaws apart with great force. This killed the massive wolf. Loki, seeing his son gone, still felt a twisted joy watching the gods fall one after another. The dead soldiers tried to get to Loki, but Heimdall, the Rainbow Bridge's guardian, blocked them. The fight between Heimdall and Loki was like a dance, both graceful and deadly. In the end, both fighters died. Surtur, with his huge sword, set the world on fire. Everything burned, leaving only ashes. Asgard was ruined, with fire reaching even the royal palaces. The seas rose high, flooding everything. The age of the gods was over and the world was now silent. After a big flood, the waters went down and new plants started growing. The long dark time was over when a bright sun finally came out. A big tree named Yggdrasil had fallen during a massive event known as Ragnarok. But inside this tree, there was a big secret. The gods had hidden a man and a woman there. They did this because they wanted to make sure there would still be people in the world after all the bad stuff happened. These two were very special because they were going to help start the world over again. A new place was built where the old one used to be. It was called Ithavallir. Think of it like a fresh start or a do-over. Odin's sons, Vidar and Vali, moved there. Thor, who's like a superhero with a big hammer, had two sons, Magni and Modi, and they also came to this new place. There were also two guys named Huanir and Balder, and they were like a mix of two people from another place. Inside Ithavallir, there were big tables with lots of chairs. The chairs reminded them of the old times and the gods who used to sit there. The new leaders sat down, talked about the old stories, and made plans. They didn't want to make the same mistakes again. While they were talking, they found an old game with shiny golden pieces. This wasn't just a regular game. It was a game their grandpas and grandmas used to play. It was kind of like chess where you need to think a lot before you move. Playing this game reminded them that they had to be smart and careful in their new world. So, with every game move, they thought about their future. They knew they had a big job to do, making sure the world was a better place. Everyone was hopeful and ready to start fresh. What do you think the new leaders should do differently after everything that happened? Let us know in the comments, smash that like, and subscribe for more.